Muppet Vision is closing? Kermit, what are we gonna do?
Well, I guess you gotta go and see it before it closes then.
But I don't even have an outfit.
Hey, that never stopped you before. You can make one. And the rest of your outfits while you're at it.
A lot of how this trip even happened is that Chris and I were in Company D and we saw these shirts on sale and we were like, that would be really cute to wear for our Disney trip. So ideally, I would have gotten this fabric and like made a dress from it or like, I don't know, something else. I needed something that I could incorporate this specific shirt into. That's how this outfit came to be. I found some Muppet fabric to accompany my Muppet t-shirt and traced out my favorite shorts pattern and cut out all the pieces. I was really passionate about making this have pockets for some reason, so there's a lot of clips of that. This isn't intended to be a tutorial, but this part was complicated and tedious, so I'm adding the clips so that I can be proud of myself. I wanted to make these fully reversible, so I cut out the same pattern in navy blue and then stuffed the blue pieces inside the Muppet ones, leaving a side slit, and then stitched them together. After turning the whole thing and checking to make sure that my seams and side slit matched up correctly, I sewed the respective crotches together and fully turned it right sides out. This is the part when I started to get excited. Next, I cut out the waistband pieces and attached them to fully enclose the top edge, leaving a hole for the elastic. I measured the elastic around my waist and stuffed it through the waistband. I closed it up and finished the hole and... I have already seen this. This is going to be the second time riding it, watching it. I'm just really happy that I am going to get to experience it.
Oh, yay.
Get out of there!
Here in this modern high-tech facility,
Woody ran away!
Alright, well, we should probably do the rest of the park, right?
We should.
Okay, so rewinding all the way back to rope drop because you know we're gonna squeeze out every second of our trip. This was a really cool version of Tower of Terror, and I was a huge fan of Rock and Roller Coaster. Woke me right up. Then food, and finally a good coffee. Some of these Joffreys are nasty. A mind-blowing show, followed by a mind-blowing lunch. Seriously, Sci-Fi Diner is magical. And some Toy Story rides. Since Muppet Vision, we did Beauty and the Beast, which was just okay. I honestly expected more. But we also did the Frozen sing-along, which was so funny. I was really glad that we did that. I had a blast at the Frozen sing-along. Oh, we did the Walt Disney Presents One Man's Dream. And that was cool to see. I had never seen like footage of Walt Disney doing the Mickey voice, so that made me happy. And then we got savory churros, which were decent. And now we're headed to see Fantasmic. This is an insane amount of seats. It's a huge venue. It's a lot. I'm kind of digging that there's chairs though. And like, you're allowed to wait and the cast members don't hate you for standing anywhere. That's nice. Just got off the bus. We're back at our resort. I thought Fantasmic was really cool. It had that like, yeah, I know these songs. I know that, like, I know where this is going, but there were still surprises. Really cool, like as a Disneyland lover to see. And I love how like they had so much of the other stories in it, like Pocahontas and Mulan and Aladdin and Moana. My thoughts on Hollywood Studios, I love it a lot. I'm a huge Universal Studios fan. It was how movies are made. It was the backstage tour. And I thought it was really, really neat. It's our Animal Kingdom day and I'm so excited. The inspiration for this jumper, I saw this pattern on Etsy. I was very enchanted by it. However, I wanted it to be more of the classic neutral cheetah print. I also wanted it to be bigger. Alas, I did have to stamp it myself. I hope you enjoyed discovering how I made these overall. I traced out the shorts part on some beige canvas fabric. Then I measured how much I'd need to extend it. I traced the torso part onto the fabric and cut it out. Then I traced my design motifs from the inspiration image and carved them out in stamp form. This is me checking I carved everything. Then I inked it in fabric paint and got to stamping. I also stamped the inner spot in brown and the outline in black. Yes, it took forever, and yes, it broke my wrist. Then I heat set and stitched the whole thing together. I double turned the legs and measured the shoulder straps, sewed and turned them, and attached them to the back. I also lined the whole thing with bias tape. Finally, I hammered on the hardware, checked to make sure it worked. In the end, what a wild day it has been here at Animal Kingdom. Obviously, starting with the rope drop, I literally couldn't believe my eyes. And then dinosaur before it goes extinct. Kilimanjaro safaris, of course. I could have spent the whole day at Rafiki's Planet Watch. And then probably the best meal we had inside a park, Satuli Canteen. I really, really loved how immersive the food was. I mean, the whole Pandora Land was immersive. Oh, and the Lion King show blew me away too. The puppetry, oh my goodness. And the performers, like there was acrobatists and aerialists and like a flamethrower guy, and then the singers were amazing, and the dancing and the stilts, and it was just such a full production. Like there was so much texture and color, and it was just so rich. I loved it. And then Everest was like Matterhorn Dew, but on a gigantic scale. And then yet another live show. Disneyland, take notes. Literally stunned. Like the puppets and the colors and the songs. They like literally looked like they were swimming, like floating, even though they were kind of like kites. Like I'm just like... On a whim, we watched the bird show and we got to be in the show. A bird flew through our arms. And then we did some of the trails and saw some of the animals. I do wish we had done this a little bit earlier, but it was still beautiful to see all of the animals. And that's all for Animal Kingdom. See you tomorrow. More thoughts on just Disney World in general. I love having a magic band. I love it so much. I love tapping the lightning lanes instead of fiddling with my phone. I love that it's just like ready to go, and like having your room key, like you don't have to worry about it. I'm loving that. So now that I've done 2 parks, it feels like I'm done. Like it feels like, okay, well we did the 2 parks, we did both parks. So all right, that's all. But there's like so much more magic to be had, and I think that I see like EPCOT and Magic Kingdom posted about more, so it's hard for me to believe there's a more, and like it's the more popular parks that haven't even done yet, because I love those 2 parks. I feel like I could do those 2 parks and be done. Also, we got rain, which was cool. It's been really good weather. It feels so like resorty. I was worried that it was gonna feel like work, like it was gonna be like, we have to do these parks and it's gonna be stressful to get to them, but it hasn't been. I felt very relaxed. Also, probably thanks to Chris booking all of our lightning lanes and a lot of our dinner reservations, and made this a very like stress-free trip, but also just the vibes in general. Like the people who are here are relaxed. It's not like Disneyland, like how you have to fight the crowds and you have to like book your mobile orders in hours in advance. It feels more like a vacation, and I am happy. I'm loving this like vacation feeling. That's all for now. I will see you in the next park. It's Magic Kingdom Day! So of course I had to do a Cinderella inspired outfit. This fabric I got, and I immediately knew it was gonna be for my Magic Kingdom dress. So I had a lot of fun making it. I think it's super pretty and I love it, and I'm really excited for you to see how I made it. I cut out the skirt pieces first, 2 10 by 40 inch rectangles and 4 12 by 40 inch rectangles. I measured the bodice oversized, knowing that I would be adding darts later. Then I cut out sleeves in the main and lining fabrics. I wound a bobbin with elastic and stitched lines along the back panel and attached that to the lining. Steaming is where the magic happens. I added darts and then randomly ended up doing princess seams. Then I attached the sleeves so that the seams would be tucked inside the garment. Attached the lining to encapsulate the stretch panel. Then I gathered the first skirt tier to match my waist measurement. Then the same for the second tier. And wow, what a day. I am completely beat. Back to the beginning, where I was in true awe at this castle. Then Space Mountain, People Mover, and then shocked by how big their Fantasyland was. We rode Haunted Mansion and I could kind of see the hype. Then Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was really cute. Their Jungle Cruise was arguably better.
My name is Skipper Molly. That is, of course, for
Lunch with Sunny Eclipse, obviously. And just marveling again at how much space they have. Tiana's Bayou, where I did not get nearly as wet. The Country Bear Musical Jamboree, which I loved. And then Tom Sawyer Island before it gets shut down. Then we watched this parade. Kudos to those performers. It was like 10,000 degrees. Then we rode the Carousel of Progress and watched certain scenes a few times. Snack time at Casey's Corner, serenaded by Grayson. And I was a big fan of Smelliphants and Storybook Circus in general. And then some more rides, especially Tron, which was crazy. Fireworks, of course. And then Peter Pan, which I loved the queue. Small World was a bit underwhelming. Then I built my own popcorn and it was just incredible. It was a really full day of so much fun. It's interesting feeling like I know this place and I don't know this place. Partly because it looks like Disneyland, but also just because I've seen so much of it on social media. I'm glad I finally did it. Alright, I will see you tomorrow for our last day. It's EPCOT Day! Really sad that it's our last day. I don't want to leave. I'm really excited for EPCOT Day. The inspiration for this dress is quite obviously EPCOT ball print. But I did make it out of all recycled jeans. All of these, well, okay, a majority of these jeans were all jeans that I personally wore and wore out. And so I was able to recycle a lot of the materials to make this dress. I did thrift a couple more pairs too, because I ran out. but they were still recycled material, nothing new was bought. And I'm really proud of how this dress turned out, so I hope you like it. After cutting out approximately 10 bajillion triangles, I would sew 4 of them together to make one rectangular panel. Then that rectangular panel would get sewn to another to make a square panel. Those squares would then get sewn to other squares until I had enough to make a sheet of fabric. The top of that sheet got cut out into a tank top style dress and then repeated in the lining fabric. The neck and armpits got stitched and turned right side out. I inserted one half of the dress inside the other with right sides touching and stitched the shoulder seams and side seams before turning it right side out. See how clean that is? Then I created a strap for the waist so that I could have some kind of figure without compromising the design. I opened up the waist where I wanted it to go and sewed it in. Then I could turn it right side out for real. I top stitched all the seams and... Another early morning, we rope dropped Remy's Ratatouille adventure and then our lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy, which was actually such a cool ride. I've never experienced anything like that. Then Beverly was not as bad as people say. This was the only meal I had before getting on Mission Space, but I was fine. Then living with the land was such a fun and relaxing time. I totally see why everybody loves this ride. Next time I really want to eat at Garden Grill. And then the Moana Way of Water experience, I was obsessed. And then Spaceship Earth, where we obviously thank the Phoenicians. We didn't spend nearly enough time in the Seas Pavilion, but I loved it. And then it was time for Journey into Imagination, and we met Figment. He's a silly guy, but I can understand the hype. He was camp. On to World Showcase, where we started with Frozen because we had a lightning lane. Then we had our margaritas. Now, remember how I only had that one meal? I was not feeling it during this ride. I had to get something to eat stat. So we backtracked towards Canada and then decided to go the other way. Rather than saying something about every country, I'm just gonna say that I was so impressed by the World Showcase. There's no way that I could have enough time to truly experience each country. I felt like I barely touched everything that these countries had to offer, and it was the 5th day of our trip, so I was absolutely exhausted. You'll see when I got to America, I was starting to die. Luckily, this show let me sit down a little and kind of revived me, but my feet were killing me. As an Italian though, I did appreciate Italy. There were so many details in all of these countries that were just so cute and so many foods to try. We didn't even get to experience every country in the daytime. I just felt robbed because there was too much cool stuff to do. That ginger ice cream was bomb though. This fireworks show was truly unique in a way that I didn't expect, but then we said goodnight and our trip was over. I think about all the work that went into planning all these outfits and just planning the trip in general, how happy I was to see the Muppets for the last time, and how proud I was to wear outfits that I made. These are memories that I'm gonna cherish forever. I had so much fun, but I'm also already ready to go back. Like, we accomplished so much, but there's so much more. So to Walt Disney World, thank you, goodbye for now, and see you real soon.